We have Radoslav Georgiev, SEO consultant and contractor, gambling SEO services. Radoslav, thank you for joining us here.
Thank you for having me.
Our first question is about ranking tactics. With search volatility increasing, how should iGaming operators balance short-term ranking tactics with long-term SEO sustainability and brand trust?
There's been increased volatility in the search engine results pages, especially lately in the last 3 to 6 months. I would say that from a operator brand perspective, it's very important to diversify a bit the approach. It used to be that operators would mainly do forms of SEO, of optimization on their main portal, the main website. But now I think it's almost fully necessary that brands diversify a bit. They definitely do some brand protection websites. They optimize on third-party platforms like Trustpilot. They probably have to do a blog as well. So they need to definitely go broader and try more things, because even though some tactics in the short term might not be working on their specific countries or languages, after an update or two, those tactics might actually be winning. So diversifying even at times when it's not really producing results might be the best form of defense in the mid to long term.
So you're mentioning diversity is key. Let's talk about untapped opportunities. Many gambling affiliates and operators compete for the same high intent keywords. Where do you currently see the biggest untapped SEO opportunities in iGaming?
It's hard to say untapped opportunities, because especially affiliates, it's their job basically to find them, to use them, to work with partners, with operators, and to get paid for that basically. So there's definitely more competitive parts of the industry in keywords. Usually the high search volume, high user intent, high value keywords related to real money gambling. But there's definitely opportunities. For example, affiliates and operator targeting in general smaller markets, or ones with more niche, not niche languages, but smaller languages. Because if you're going, for example, for English, Spanish, French, German, for the big languages, the competition there is very high to insane usually. But targeting some smaller countries with small languages, targeting some niche topics, for example, specific game titles which are very popular on a local level, which is something that local affiliates and operator tend to know, but international ones, they have usually no idea about what are the 10, 20 most popular games, or sometimes even providers or payment methods in specific geos. Targeting such topics and long tail keywords, I think, is of benefit of smaller players and more nimble ones, because there they can fully focus and outcompete the big guys and the international ones especially.
You mentioned different terms here. You have user intention, languages. My next question dives into search results. As AI generated content becomes more common, what separates high performing iGaming websites from those likely to lose visibility in search results over the next few years?
Yeah. I see AI content and in general AI as is just increasing efficiency of already well-structured companies, teams, processes, and executions. So AI could be advantage if your underlying strategy and product is actually working. From my perspective, in the long term, especially for affiliates, it's very important to not to move away from SEO, but to add on top of it. So SEO can be a great acquisition channel, but in the end, you want to make your website, your product, your service, your information sticky. You want to introduce some kind of a brand, some kind of usability that users are going to come for. They're going to bookmark your website. They're going to remember its name. They're going to go on Google and not search for the best online casinos compared in 2026 or whatever. They're going to search for your brand name because they trust you. They see some features or some usability in your service which is of their benefit, is definitely making you differentiate from everyone else. And those brands which create a good product, they create a brand on top of it. They diversify traffic sources, not only SEO, but for example, social. It can be streaming. It can be anything else. those brands, I think, when it comes to affiliates, operators, whatever, they're going to have a long-term competitive advantage. Whereas the others, they might be successful in the short to mid-term, some of them even in the long term, but it's always going to be a lot more volatile, because if you're 99% SEO traffic, if you're 99% gambling, and you have no brand, yes, you can be successful again in the short to mid-term, but again, eventually Google is going to figure it out that you are just riding on their free traffic, so to say, because in the end of the day, Google is giving you those rankings, giving you traffic, and if your product is not sticky and Google recognizes this user signals and lack of brand trust, eventually you're going to get deranked, even if your SEO is 10 out of 10 and technically and content-wise spotless.
Well described, Rado. Last question is about SEO lessons. From your experience working across gambling, crypto, forex, and other competitive sectors, what SEO lessons should iGaming firms pay closer attention this year in 2026?
Yeah. Again, maybe to iterate what I said, I think iGaming companies, again, be it affiliates or operators, I think emphasis on SEO is a good thing. For some companies, it makes more sense than for others. In general, I believe you definitely need to diversify your approaches within SEO, because there's been quite a few, for example, affiliates, which used to be rocket ships a few years ago. They would just create large-scale WordPress-based affiliate websites with exact match domains, no brand, no nothing. But because their underlying SEO processes and product were good enough at that stage, they would just take over a lot of SERPs, a lot of market share, make very good revenue. But once Google started taking into account different things, those one-dimensional type of companies, they started suffering really, really hard. Whereas others which diversified their approaches, there's a couple of very high-profile affiliates, for example, which are doing it. They're not betting the company or its future success on any single market or approach. They're just doing lots of stuff. Again, some of them does lose money for them in the short to mid-term, but they know that if something happens, if Google updates, maybe what is winning right now is going to go down, but Google needs to show something. So even if you're losing money with some tactics, as long as it's not responsibly good, you might actually succeed with that long to mid-term, and this diversification might cause you not to go, double your revenue this year, minus 80% next year, then triple your revenue, and then you cannot really plan ahead your fixed costs like teams, softwares, and so on. So I think diversification within SEO approaches is highly advised for both affiliates and operators. And in general, diversifying away from SEO and adding other traffic sources, because again, SEO is a great channel. I'm working in that sphere. I know how great it is, but it's not the only one in the world. And if there's a company which especially in those high competitive industries, if it's only focusing on SEO and not doing other marketing channels, they're definitely missing out on things. And this fixation might cause them to explode in the short to mid-term. But again, eventually, that's what search engines started doing. Even if you're great, they're going to punish you at one time. So diversifying also away from SEO, building product, building service, building recognition and brand, I think it's a must in today's age.
Lots of insights, lots of lesson learned. Thank you very much, Radoslav.
Thank you.
Radoslav Georgiev, SEO consultant and contractor, gambling SEO services. Thank you once again.
Thank you.